Hey everybody, this is Richard Major here with Major Living, and we're going to show you some exercises for the hips and the knees and help you start feeling better in these good old days. First time we're going to start off laying down. Definitely choose the bed if you want. I'm going to do them on the floor here, but if you have any difficulty getting down, don't do them on the floor, do them on the bed. First one we're going to do, simply you're just taking your knee, pushing it into the floor or the bed, checking your shirt, make sure you're looking good, and carrying on, pushing that knee into the bed and relaxing. You're tightening up the quadriceps here, that's the front of the leg. Very useful exercise. The second one here is called the straight leg raise, and you're going to notice that I put the foot flat on the floor, and that's to keep the pelvis in line. Okay, so make sure that you keep your foot flat on the floor, and as you're doing this, you're keeping the leg that you're going to move is straight. Keep your toes pointed up, and you're going to lift it up about 6 inches to a foot off the ground. You can also sit up on your elbows, or even sitting up in a chair necessarily, you could do that too. So here's all the variations that you can do them in. All of them very useful. So you're going to need your ball for the next one here, and all you're going to do is you're going to stick it under your knee. You can use a towel roll as well, a sleeping bag, a pillow, it's no problem. So you just have the ball under your knee, and you're basically kicking the ball. And if you notice, a lot of people might think, oh, your knee is going to slip. Probably won't. The ball is a good secure platform for your knee. And you're just straightening your leg up and down. Make sure you hold it at the top just for a few seconds. Toes are pointing up as well. So bottom leg raise is when you're laying on your side, and you take the leg that's on the bottom, the one closest to the floor, and you just keep it straight and raise it up towards the ceiling and back down. That's going to help with the muscles on the inside of your leg. Often neglected muscles, often a sign for knee pain. The other way is just going to take our leg, and we're going to use the top leg and bring it up, keeping it straight. You can lay down while you're doing this and then enjoy the good old times, but when you're doing this, make sure that your hips are pointing straight up and down, not forwards and backwards or on any sort of angles. The hips are straight up and down, the leg is straight. Coming up to the good old clam shells here, and if you've ever had any sort of rehab before, you've probably seen the clam shell. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your feet, both foot touching each other, and you're going to open a knee up and down, just like what a clam would do to eat some good old algae. Open up the knees and back. Oh, and the good old fire hydrant, one of my favorites. Here we are, you're just going to get up on all fours, and you're going to lift that leg like you're a good old dog pissing on a fire hydrant. That's it. Lift that leg and back down. Lift it up and down. You're going to notice actually that although it is kind of a funny movement, it is very, very effective for getting deep into the hip. I really recommend it. Good old front view here, checking out that old fire hydrant. How high can your knee go? Boom. So here's the intermediate clam shells, and all you can do is you're going to sit up on a plank. So now you're on your elbow and you lift your hips up. Your feet are still touching each other, and you're just opening and closing your knees like the clam shell was. But your upper body is totally off of the bed. A little trickier. I encourage it. So this is called side lying abduction. You got your knee bent. You're laying on your side, and the top knee is going up towards the ceiling and back down. In a comfortable position. Now, of course, you may see this done with resistance bands as well. So keeping on laying onto the side, what you can do after that last one is just bringing your legs straight back. Make sure that your back is straight, you're not arching your back, and you're just stretching out your hip extensors, hip flexors, and also working on your abductors as well. So these are bottom leg raises with resistance loops. So here's how you can see. So you're holding onto the band with your foot. Your opposite foot is your anchor, and as it's looped around your active leg, activating those muscles on the inside of your leg. Clam shells with resistance, very similar. You can do them simultaneously. You're just going to have the loop around your legs, feet touching each other, opening and closing. Holding at the top though, that's the big secret too. Make sure you're holding all of your exercises at the top for just a couple seconds. Here's another abduction with resistance. And I would say to hold your resistance band above your knee. That way you're not putting any strain on your knee itself. Anything lower than your knee and you may start to have some complications with some knee pain. So here's some good old sideline ball squeezes, and for you guys, it's not what you think. You're going to take your ball, put it between your knees. You can even use a towel if you like. You're going to squeeze that ball as hard as you can and relax. Squeeze it, hold it. You can hold it to about 5 seconds and take a nice break in between. These are really, really effective. Don't take those for granted. And then we got the hamstring stretch. You're going to sit flat on the bed or on the floor. Keep your body nice and straight. If you've just had a hip replacement and you have precautions, I don't recommend this whatsoever. Check with your doctor, of course, with every exercise that you do. So, but your back is straight and you have your hands on your shins and you're just coming down slowly. If you start to notice that you arch your back, you're doing it incorrectly. Make sure your back is completely straight. We're getting into some seated exercises now. Congratulations, you're on part 2. First one is an optional exercise, and that's why I'm showing it to you here. You're going to take the resistance loop, put it in between your big toe and the rest of your toes. You're just going to straighten your leg up and work your quadriceps. It is a difficult exercise, so don't take that one for granted. This one here, you're going to sit halfway up using the resistance band around your legs. So you're going to keep the band activated to make sure your feet are always in line and not moving in or outward toward each other. And you're just sitting halfway up, not all the way, just halfway. You're going to hold it at the halfway mark. Boom, right there, and then come back down. I'm telling you, boys and girls, this is a difficult exercise. If you do enough of them, your legs start burning. So I'd recommend starting off about 6 to 8 initially and working your way up. You know what your limit is. Just challenge yourself how you like. So this one here is I call slow and controlled marching. You're just going to have one knee coming up using the resistance band and then the other. Try not to arch your back. Keep your back nice and straight, and if you can, I would challenge you to have your back off of the backrest if it's safe to do so. Make sure you're breathing too. Are you breathing during these exercises? Make sure that you do. And of course, this is just a tutorial. I'm not doing all the repetitions that would be required, but I'm just reminding you all, take some nice deep breaths as you're exercising. Take some breaks. So we've got some what we call quad extensions. So similar to the one with the resistance band, except we don't have one. So this would be the beginner level. You're just straightening that leg up, holding it at the top. You're gonna feel your quadricep, the top of your leg getting tight, and that's the muscles that are being activated. Next, we're just gonna bring those feet up, marching on the spot without resistance. Keep your back off the backrest, taking nice deep breaths. It's not a huge movement. Your hips won't move up too high. And also, if you have hip replacement and you do have hip precautions, just note that you are going above 90 degrees with this, or there's the potential to. So I advise with caution. And check with your doctor. Alright, we're coming up to some toe ankle pumping. All of you know this. We've all done this one before. If you're going to go listen to get some good music, you're bopping your toes up and down. We're just going to go up on our tiptoes as well. So we're going on our heels and back on our toes. Great exercise to help with the back of the muscle, the calf, and also the front of the foot. Alright, we're going to do ball squeezes in seated position now. So you're going to grab your ball, put it between your knees. Try to have your feet touching or close to touching if you can. And you're going to squeeze that ball, hold it, and squeeze it for as hard as you can. You will not pop that ball, I guarantee, if you get the Major Living Resistance ball from the Strength and Balance kit. I can't guarantee any other ball, but this one, no problem. Squeeze that ball as hard as you can. Good job. And relax. Here again, just like the resistance band one, you're gonna stand halfway up, hold it, and come back down. Squeeze that ball together and come back down. The inside and the outside muscles of our hips, on average, are the weakest muscles in the body. So it's important to start activating them, especially if you have hip and knee pain. It's a great exercise to do for that. So you're just sitting halfway up off the chair and coming back down. Notice that my knees aren't touching the chair either. Okay, so we're sitting down, we're opening and closing up our legs. What we're doing is the clamshell again, but it's not the laying down clamshell, it's the sitting up clamshell. You're just opening it up. And this one's with resistance. It's not a bad idea to use resistance for that one if you choose to. Seated abduction is very similar to the clamshell, except in having your feet touching, you can actually separate your feet and move your leg as one complete unit. So all of it is lined up together and you're moving it as one unit. So nothing's dragging behind. You're not dragging your foot behind, you're not leading your foot ahead. Everything is together. Also a good one to use with a mild resistance. Nice. Those look really good. Okay, we're in the standing section now. This is the last part of this segment, and I hope you've really enjoyed your time. So the first one here is called the hamstring curl. All you're really doing is you're keeping your knee straight up and down. Your knee points to the ground. Your hips doesn't move forward or anything. And all you're doing is you're bringing your heel, and just think of trying to kick your heel to your butt. You're not going to be able to, but that's the action that you're doing. Bringing your heel to your butt. Keep your knee straight up and down. Hip extension. Very similar, but you're going to keep your leg straight and you're going to bring it behind you. You can't move it very far. It's not a big movement because it's the muscle that's basically it's your butt. You're moving your butt. So keep your back straight up and down and just use your foot going back. There's a couple variations you can do. You can go straight back or go on a 45-degree angle. You'll feel a difference in the muscles. It's quite interesting. And then you can also go right to the side as well. So standing abduction. You can go back 45 degrees and you can also go straight back as well. Keep your back straight. Just remember you're targeting your hips, nothing else. A little bit of your low back too, actually. It is marching on the spot with control, but as you can see when I do this, it's just with one leg. So you can do it with one leg as well. Or you can alternate. There's no difference other than that one gets repeated reps, so it might fatigue a bit quicker than marching on the spot, alternating legs. Wall slide. So do this with caution. Don't go down too far all the way. So wall slides you can use with resistance bands, without resistance bands, with a resistance ball. But make sure that you're wearing shoes or some good grip. You're going to have your feet out so that when you bend down, your knees do not bend over your toes. So make sure that you can always, your knees are in line with your feet and they don't go over your feet. Okay? So that was one with resistance bands. What I'm also going to do is, if you want, you can put the ball on your back and it's going to just go up and down your back. Kind of feels pretty nice actually, and it will help a little bit with more stability too. So make sure that you have good balance when you use that, but I recommend it. It's feels pretty good, and it's nice. It's not as not much surface compared to the wall. There's a side view of the wall slide. Alright, finally. This one is great. You're targeting your back muscles, not so much with your hips, but your whole body's connected, so you can use this one too. You're doing some wall slides, but at the same time, you're squeezing the ball with your elbows. That's the secret. Try that one. Here's that hip abduction that you saw earlier, but now you're using it with resistance band. if you have knee or hip issues, I don't recommend going any lower than what you see right now, which is just below the kneecaps. In fact, you may even want to start above the knees to put less pressure on the knee joint itself. So what I'm doing here is I have one leg forward and one leg back. Now the leg that's back starts off bent with my foot flat on the ground, and all I'm doing is I'm using my knee to straighten it out. So here's a side view. So you can hold onto the wall, bend your knee forward and back. I'm not doing much with my front leg. I'm naturally bending because the back knee's bending, so I'm shortening in length. But the starting position is when the knee is bent, and all you're doing is you're straightening your knee, your back leg out. Here's just some of those variations, again using the resistance band this time. And again, if you have some knee pain, I don't recommend it down by your ankles, but if you want to stay strong and you're feeling really good, you can start to challenge yourself by having it down by your ankles there. This is a really nice stretch. It may be a little bit difficult for you to get your leg onto the chair, but this is going to stretch your whole front of your leg. The hip flexors, they're called. So I just have my foot on the corner of the chair. My posture is good, nice and straight, and I'm just stretching into my leg there. If you don't want to do that, there is another option in that you can sit in your chair. You're going to put half of your butt cheek off of the floor, or off of the chair. And you're just going to stretch your hips out. So make sure you're supported, you have good balance. You just drop that leg down, straighten it out behind you. Get yourself a nice stretch. We got some bicycle kicks. So you're sitting back in your chair. You can lean back in your chair if you want, but I recommend just having a good posture. And you're just moving those legs up and down.